Hey there, sneak peekers. Edward here to tell you about some great films that you can expect for the month of October. Yes, because wake up, September's ended and the Green Day prophecy hath been fulfilled. First up, a little movie called Gravity. Now disclaimer, I won't pretend I'm any sort of film historian majoring in Alfonso Cuarón films. You know what my favorite Alfonso Cuarón film movie is? Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Buckbeak is the absolute peak in Western cinema. Anyways, the reason I'm excited about this one is mainly because I know so little about it. Any and all trailers of this movie have shown nothing more than Sandra Bullock screaming and spinning through space while George Clooney watches, which, aside from being the plot to an amazing porno flick, has the potential to be the culmination of a great film as well. Definitely intrigued. Lift off with Gravity on October 4th. Next up, a little ditty called The Fifth Estate. Why am I so interested by this movie? Benedict Cumberbatch. I won't deny that he tops my ever-growing list of man crushes, and his portrayal as WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has me shivering in excitement. But aside from that, I'm interested in the whole idea behind the WikiLeaks scandal. Still, this movie looks as though it's going to be fantastic or fantastically subpar. Definitely approaching with optimistic caution. Investigate this movie on October 18th. Chugging along on this Cumberbatch train, we have 12 Years a Slave. If Fifth Estate was the appetizer of my man meal, then 12 Years is the main course. Michael Fassbender, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Brad Pitt? Sign me up. Of course, aside from featuring a sexy cast, 12 Years is gaining an absolute avalanche of Oscar buzz, and, judging by Steve McQueen's past works in the released trailer, has the pure emotional drama that I demand in my historical pieces, such as The King's Speech and Lincoln. I'm not going to make a slavery pun because I'm above that, but you can check out 12 Years a Slave when it hits a limited release on October 18th. Tom Hanks just won't die, but he might in Captain Phillips. If you've ever fantasized about Sheriff Woody negotiating with terroristic Somali pirates, then this is the movie for you. Based on the true story of Captain Richard Phillips and the 2009 hijacking of a U.S. cargo ship, Captain Phillips is directed by Paul Greengrass, the guy who did The Bourne Ultimatum. Notable cast members include Tom Hanks and Tom Hanks. That's basically about it. So if you're not into the Hankster, you may want to sail as far away from this one as you can when it arrives in port meaning theaters, on October 11th. Ridley Scott. If you hear that name and immediately think Blade Runner and Alien, you may be surprised at our next movie, The Counselor. Starring my boys Michael Fassbender, Brad Pitt, and Javier Bardem, as well as the beautiful Penelope Cruz and the very existing Cameron Diaz, this movie is about a lawyer who gets in over his head when he becomes involved in drug trafficking. And that's basically it. Couple that with the first screenplay by Cormac McCarthy, the author of one of my favorite book-to-film adaptations ever, No Country for Old Men, and you've got a very intrigued Edward. You can dice up a serving of The Counselor and snort it through a $50 bill on October 25th. Finally, spotlighting a film that undeservedly seems to have remained a mystery to most, I'm looking forward to a movie called Ragnarok. Starring a bunch of Nordic and Scandinavian actors that you've never heard of, Ragnarok deals with an archaeologist who uncovers ruins on an old Viking vessel detailing the return of Ragnarok, the mythological Nordic serpent meant to destroy the world. I'm a nut for Norse mythology, hence why Thor is my favorite Avenger. But more than that, Ragnarok has gotten surprisingly good early reviews, making me wonder if there's more to this movie than I anticipated. You can strike out against the mortal world of Midgard with Furious Hellfire sometime in early October in a limited release, but hopefully it gets picked up for wider distribution. Back to you guys.